welcome back to the second in our series of short episodes geared toward informing our customers and colleagues about some of the common questions we get that take a little extra explanation. We hope you'll enjoy it, join us for further episodes, and share them with your network as well. Today we're talking about the 1%. What does that mean? Well, it begins with a conversation that starts out something like this. I'm proud to say our lines run with 99% product quality. It's my job to drive continuous improvement, continuous cost decreases. So I have to pay attention when everyone says data, Industry 4.0, and AI are changing the game. But honestly, how much could you possibly do with just the 1%?
Hi, I'm Andrew Scheuermann, CEO of Arch Systems. What can we do with that 1%? Not much. But if you think you have 99% efficiency just because you've achieved 99% quality, let's talk. I'm here to tell you I've never, not once, seen a manufacturer anywhere near 99% efficiency. Have you? Well, maybe for some of you that's obvious because state-of-the-art is close to 60%. But as we start looking at the data, we're seeing 50, 40, 30% efficiencies in these top manufacturers just to get to that 99% quality metric. What's the real value of that 1%? Well, it's the untapped efficiency that was left behind in the pursuit of the 1% in the first place. Fortunately, Industry 4.0 now brings the tools and processes needed to capture all that value that is in fact now within reach. It begs the question, are you sure you're looking at the right thing? Think of an iceberg. There's no way to know the real size of it without getting under the surface. And there's no way to do that unless you've got some kind of specialized instrument, which modern seacraft now carry. But at some point, they didn't. And so the focus was on navigating the tip. Perhaps for those that were smarter, you kept an even further distance away to be safe. Likewise, when manufacturers focus on the tip, they either risk crashing because in fact there's trouble down below, or they keep an extra wide berth because they lack the specialized instruments to see more. And often they too are missing the giant mass of inefficiency that's just below the surface. That is exactly what Industry 4.0 is all about, using the tools that are now at our disposal to reset our assumptions and achieve truly zero waste, AI predictive manufacturing. Now imagine that instead of running a factory, you run an accounting firm. Your people use calculators to crunch numbers, submit reports to customers, and therefore make revenue for the firm. Now imagine further that your accountants use the calculators for addition, subtraction, but not for the square root. Why? Well, because your older calculators didn't have the square root function, so your humans are still doing it by hand. Very expertly, I might add. Now personally, I don't think I've ever done square root of 2, for example, by hand. And if you try to hire me to do it, I think I'd say no. I wouldn't want that job. If I took it, I'd make all kinds of errors, not to mention it would be boring. Imagine that an accounting firm is actually operating this way today, when it's cheap to buy modern calculators that have a square root function that can immediately calculate it, never making a mistake. That's where many factories are in fact stuck. Let's take an example. Factory number 1. Here they send a team of seasoned experts through the factory, a 12-month tour to see how they can tighten process control. They look at everything, all the problems with the equipment, they pick the right new sensors and hardware to increase visibility. They then perform prescriptive maintenance, helping maintenance be done even earlier than before to achieve 99%, maybe 99.5% quality. They further defined these red zones, as we say, which you need to stay out of to keep your quality high. And when they get to that point, there's really not much more to be done. Now, what we tell customers when they're at this point is to step back and redefine. Don't only ask, are your green zones green? Do you need to hold tighter? But crucially, are all the regimes where you said you can't operate, those red zones, are they really red? Factory number 2. Now here, a machine data system is installed to ingest the data across all machines. It automatically then calculates green and red zones based on the data across your organization. It only serves up the specific areas or problems that it is not already confident in. Those are served to a lean team of 2-3 experts who could either be seasoned or new experts excited and eager to work with new tools. The zones calculated are somewhat the same as the old, but also importantly different. They identify the areas where asset life can be extended, where more white space and capacity is freed up, where quality can be maintained if not improved with massive efficiency increases. And as the factory continues to run, the new data continues to paint this canvas, a better picture of the green and red, eventually making it into a perfect picture that tells you exactly how to operate. It's easy to see which of these two fares better, which one is set on a footing to move forward with a modern, adaptive workforce with tools that generate a whole new plane of vision. Embracing that mindset comes with the advantage of workforce recruitment. There are a lot of incoming workers interested in jobs and careers that utilize their skills that in fact play very well in an Industry 4.0 world. Fewer and fewer are looking for jobs without those skills. But can this alternative approach work for manufacturers that have, lots of machines and processes all over the world? Make no mistake, while that was a liability in Industry 3.0, it is in fact an asset in Industry 4.0 because of the ability to build a larger data set. More machines feeding information equals a faster rate of learning for the algorithms, even if your team of experts is only in one place working remotely all around the world. So, we have to ask ourselves those two main questions once again. Number one, are you looking at the right thing? Are you trying to whittle away at the remaining 1% at the top, or are you starting to recognize, visualize, clarify the giant mass of inefficiency underneath it? And that leads to the second question. What will you do with your 1%? Will you squeeze tighter on that specific process control that you've built up over time to get another 0.5%? Or will you adopt the new tools and capabilities available at your fingertips, go back, reevaluate the path that led you here? That process is up to you. As you move forward, I think you may find what we have, that the question becomes less, what do you do with the 1%? And more, what do you do with what's hiding behind it? Good luck, and hopefully we'll get to work together at some point in that journey. Cheers.